Hello everyone, welcome back to day 5. Same as what we looked at yesterday, we're bringing that mobility and stretching together. Today in a more in-depth routine, holding the stretching for a little bit longer, as well as moving more into the hips and into that lower back to start to integrate that full spinal movement to help with lower back stiffness and tightness. So for exercise 1 in day 5, we want to start to look at going back into that child's pose position. This is a really good stretch when starting out, particularly if you're doing this routine in the morning, to really open up through the lower back joints and to really stretch into that backwards child's pose position. What's really important though, which is what I've added here, is you can add in a slight rotation. So what this is doing is not only stretching through the lower back, but it's also stretching up into the spine. We're adding in that rotation to help with that flexibility and mobility, and gets you to really start to integrate that stretch with other movements as well. So that's the first one going into, is that lovely child's pose, and again coming back into that pose to finish. Next we want to go into that cat-cow position. So with day 5, again, we're mixing kind of the key movements and key stretches. So going into that cat-cow position, again, you're integrating that movement through lower back, into the thoracic spine, into the cervical spine. So you're linking the whole spine together, adding in that lovely flexion and extension. And again, once we've moved through there, you can start to tailor in a bit of side-to-side shift, like we said on previous videos, particularly for this 7-day series, where you're wanting to, move up through the ribs, stretch through those side muscles, including the QL and the latissimus dorsi, really to get that lovely mobility through the body. Next, we're going to go into a hip flexor stretch, which we looked at before. This helps to relax and lengthen around the front muscles of the hip and into that lower back, as well as adding in that lovely flexibility. It's a really key thing where you're lunging forward and stretching for your hip flexors to allow those deep muscles to relax, to help with that, reducing that stiffness and improving that mobility. What we're then next looking at is something called a pigeon stretch or a piriformis stretch, when we're having the legs slightly out in front. So if you're watching this video and you think, right, there's absolutely no way that I will be able to put my leg out in front and then drop my body weight over to stretch around the back of the glutes into the piriformis, just go back to the previous, particularly first couple of videos in this 7-day series, where we dropped the leg across, held behind the knee and pulled it towards you. So you can do it where you're lying on your back instead of this position. As for some people, some people will want that advanced stretch and other people will find it too difficult with the hip and the knee. But if you can do this, is a great way to help with that lower back flexibility as it opens up through the area. But like we said previously, pick and choose which exercises are relevant for you.